Mic check, mic check. Mic check, mic check. What's good, Hood? Good evening, good evening. I want to thank everybody for tuning in. This is the P-Ave Perspective. I'm your host, Mr. O'Neill. And whether you're watching the live stream or whether you're watching the replay on YouTube, I appreciate everybody tuning in with me tonight. Last week, I had to cut it short because I had some technical difficulties, some going on, and I couldn't figure it out. And I even took the video down because that's not a good representation of myself or the show. But just like then, we were talking about teamwork, but not just any kind of team. We talking about strong, united, unstoppable teams that build families, build businesses, and build communities. And the title of today's show is The 5 Pillars of a Strong Team. And basically, we just gonna discuss the top 5 things that you have to look for or that you should take into consideration when building teams. And let me say this. When it comes to us and our communities, I feel like one of the main reasons that we are in last place right now as a people is because we've been conditioned to compete against each other and not work together. It's so much animosity, so much hatred, so much jealousy going around that everybody feel like, you know what I'm saying, they have to do it by themselves. And I'm gonna keep it real with you. You can look throughout history. Nothing great was built by one person. I don't care what it was. Nothing great was built by one person. And if you don't believe me, look it up. Look it up. Everybody had to have help. And whether it was family help, whether it was outside help, whether it was, extended family, friends, co-workers, business partners, whatever it is, the strong team increases your chances of success. And just like I say, whether you leading a business, whether you running a household, whether you're in ministry, or whether you're trying to get your circle right, we're going to break down the 5 key qualities that every successful team must have to win, because I want everybody to win, man. So if you're watching now, you know what I'm saying, let me know what's going on. Hit me up in the chat. And if you ever been a part of the team that felt like a struggle, we all been there, and we're going to talk about it today. We're going to talk about it today. Good evening, good evening, Miss Alicia. I appreciate you tuning in, rocking with me. But again, I stress that we in last place right now. We seriously in last place, and at the rate we going, I don't see us getting out of last place. I think, a lot of us, because of our mindset, are doomed. Really doomed. But to those who are hoping to change their life, to those who are hoping to make a difference in your life, believe it or not, it starts with you, and it starts with the right team, the right group of people around you to help you. So let's go ahead and get into the 5 pillars of a strong team. The number 1 pillar is trust. That's number 1. The foundation of any strong team is trust. Without it, you got nothing but individuals playing defense. Again, the foundation of any strong team is trust. When team members trust each other, they communicate honestly, admit mistakes, and have each other's back. This is what I want to ask y'all. Have you ever wondered, or have you ever worked with someone you couldn't trust? Have you ever worked with someone you couldn't trust? Did it affect the mission? Oh Lord, I'm buffering again. Oh Lord. Let me see. Let me keep trying. So I don't know what's going on. I don't know, because I got high-powered internet, so that's not the problem. I don't know what it is. But let me keep rocking. But like I said, have you ever worked with someone you couldn't trust? And if so, how did it affect the mission? Because I know I don't. I have, but like I said, I had to end it real quick because, if you can't trust someone, you can't trust them to do what they say they're going to do. You can't trust them to be who they say they're going to be. It's not going to work. It's not going to work. In your business, in your family, even in your relationship, you've got to build trust by showing up, keeping your word, and giving folks the safe space to be real. That is what it is. That is what it is. And like so many of us are, like I said, we mentally and emotionally damaged to where it's hard to trust. And like I said, that's one of the main reasons we're in the situation we in. And one of the main reasons I always talk to people about, getting their mental right, getting their emotion right, because it don't work without that. It don't work without that. So to all the people who've been hurt and, have had their trust broken, I respect that to the fullest. But you're not going to be able to have a strong team, a strong relationship, strong family structure, nothing without trust. So if you can't trust, that's where it starts. That's where it starts. I suggest that you do whatever you need to do to start getting yourself together, because in order to be great, you're going to have to trust somebody. In order to do great things, you're going to have to trust somebody. But the number two pillar number two in the 5 pillars of a strong team is clear communication. Clear communication. A strong team talks regularly, honestly, and respectively. Lack of communication creates confusion. Miscommunication creates conflict. I tell people all the time, understanding be the misunderstanding every day. And like I said, I thank God for the fact that I'm an open communicator and I possess empathy to the point where I can really see where another person is coming from and try to understand that person through good communication. But this is what I want you to do. Tag someone in the chat who always tells it straight, even when it's hard to hear. Don't tag me though. Don't tag me. Don't tag me. You can't lead people you can't talk to. And you can't follow someone who doesn't explain the vision entirely. So it's key. It's key. It's key. And just you cannot build anything without clear communication. And just like I said, as a man myself, I pride myself in being able to have those hard conversations with people. I pride myself on being able to tell the people I deal with the real, because number one, I care. I care. I'm not the type of person. Anybody that knows me know. Like you may get offended. People may get offended. I have had people get offended who didn't know me about the stuff I post on social media or the stuff I say. But the thing about it is, it's truth, and I stand on it. And I would rather say it than to, mislead. Or I'm not the type of person to say what you want to hear per se, but I will say what you need to hear, because we need that in our life. I know I cherish it. I cherish the people that keep it real with me, and let me know what it is. Don't sugarcoat it with me. Don't worry about how I'm gonna feel. You know what I'm saying, when you tell me something, because I'm a man and I welcome that. But I understand a lot of people can't communicate. Believe me, I've met so many people. I know so many people who, can't deal with the truth or can't communicate. And the one thing I say for sure is, if you can't communicate, we're not going to be able to, make anything happen, because that's the foundation. That's the foundation. Even back to what I said maybe a week or so ago about, having that conversation about what you bring to the table. Like, as a team, you have to communicate that. And I think I said it last week when I was talking about it. I've had situations where major money have been missed, businesses have failed, entertainment careers have failed because there was a lack of clear communication. And like I said, on my part, I tell it like it is and I stand on it. If I tell you I'm going to do something, I do it. If I get to a situation where I can't do something I told you I was going to do, I'm going to tell you as soon as I know and really try to help you figure out something else. I'm not the type to just leave you high and dry. And like I said, if I say it, I stand on it. And a lot of people don't. You know what I'm saying? A lot of people make promises that they don't intend to keep, or a lot of people will make promises and then turn around and feel like they don't owe explanation when they don't keep their promise. And just like I said, to me, that's not manly at all. That's not manly at all. That's part of accountability. If I tell you I'm going to do something, I'm going to do it. Or if I get to a point where I realize I can't do it, as soon as I know I can't, I'm going to let you know. Because I owe you that. I owe you to tell you I can't do it just like I told you I could. And that's just being real. But you can't do anything without communication. Whether it's morning check-ins at work or family meetings at home. The strongest teams stay on the same page. And they stay on the same page through good, effective communication. Good, effective communication. Now, the number 3 pillar, and all of these are important. All of these really carry the same amount of importance. So it's no real order. But the number 3 pillar is shared vision and shared goals. We have to be traveling in the same direction. We have to be trying to accomplish some of the same things. A strong team knows where they're going, and they're all headed in the same direction. Like, have you ever been on a team where everybody had their own idea of success? Like, imagine that. And like I have teamed up with people to where a lot of our people see money as success, as, you know, and like I tell people, I'm an investor. I remember a situation where we were doing some promotions, and I got a chance to work with a good friend of mine who I'm eventually going to, you know, get on the show. But I don't like saying names, but I'm going to say hers because this is something positive. But Miss Anastasia DeVoe, I had, you know what I'm saying, the pleasure of working with her on her promo team. And she had an event where she was just starting an event, and they brought me on as a promoter. And like I said before, we discussed, you know, what I would get, what I would, you know, what my responsibility was, and what payment would be. And like I tell people all the time, I'm a builder. And I remember specifically when it came time for people to get paid. You know what I'm saying? And they like, hey, will you earn this? I'm like, no, put mine back in the pot. I want to grow it. Put it back in the pot and we'll keep growing it. But other people, you know what I'm saying? Like, I need my money, you know, and took their money. And there's no knock to nobody because I don't know nobody's situation. There's no negative, you know, the fact that people took their money. But I realized, like, we're not on the same page. We're not on the same page. And it's like simple as that. And I've been in that situation with a lot of people to the point where I can start from nothing and flip and build. That's what we were schooled on when we were young, flipping and building. It wasn't about blowing money. Like, I come from a generation where you stacked that bread. And you made sure you stacked that bread because you didn't know, you know, when that bread was going to be cut off or when you was going to need it. So you stacked bread, and it wasn't about spending. But I've run into so many people with that mind state to where they're in hustle mode. They're in grind mode. They're in survival mode. So they're not thinking about stacking nothing. They thinking about, okay, I need to get it and I'll get what I need or get what I want because I might not be here tomorrow. Me, I'm thinking about 5 years from now, 10 years from now. So the whole thought process is different. And like I said, those are not shared vision and shared goals. Everybody has their own vision and their own goals. And that's what leads a lot of time to clashing. That's what leads to clashing a lot of times because, like I said, I'm a builder. I will put my money in something and I will keep flipping my money and growing my money and flipping my money. But you have to have the right partner who's on the same page, who has the same mindset in order to accomplish that. Because if I'm about stacking money and that person is in survival mode, that person, you know, needs their money. So they're taking their money out of it while I'm trying to build my money up in it. And just like I said, that's not shared vision and that's not shared goals. And if you don't have that as a basis of your team and what you're doing, it's not going to work. It's not going to work. If you're leading the team, your job is to paint the vision clearly and often. If you're a part of the team, your job is to buy in and push it forward. So make sure that you have people on your team with same goal and same vision, or it's bound not to work. It's bound not to work, trust me. Number 4, the number 4 pillar in teamwork and life is accountability. Accountability. This is where the rubber meets the road, people. In a strong team, everybody plays their position and owns their part. No finger pointing, no excuses, just results. Just results. And that comes with accountability. It starts with accountability. I'm going to ask you this. How do you handle being corrected or called out? Be honest. Especially my ladies. I want to hear that from the ladies. You know what I'm saying? How do you handle being corrected or called out? Because that's a serious one. That's a serious one no matter how you look at it. And like I said, we cut from that cloth. I'm cut from that cloth. You know what I'm saying? Pulling your coat, lacing you up with game, you know what I'm saying? Gaming you up, putting you on game, whatever you want to call it. I come from that. Like we used to say back in the days, you know what I'm saying? If you catch somebody with their slip showing, tell them they slip showing. Don't let them be walking around with their slip showing. As people, I've heard people say today, let people know, you know what I'm saying, when your crown is not on right. Let people know when your crown is tilted. Help the people straighten up their crown if you catch them with their crown slipping. Because correction is not criticism, man. It's a tool of growth. It's a tool to help you grow. But it only works if the culture supports it. Clear teams check each other with love because the mission matters more than your ego. It should. If you're not, then you shouldn't be on the team. It's team first. It's team over everything. And I just saw a situation like that. I felt like it was like that, you know what I'm saying, with my team, the Cowboys. You know what I'm saying? Like in a team, everybody had to be on the same page and everybody had to be accountable. And I just had a major player from my team, the Cowboys, get traded. And I was all for it. I was all for it because to me, he showed no accountability. He showed no accountability at all. And the reason why I say that is, as a businessman, if I sign a contract with you to do a job, a contract for a certain amount of time, for a certain amount of money, that is a commitment. That is a commitment. And when I get to the point where I don't want to fulfill the contract I signed, the contract that I'm still under, that's not being accountable. That's not being accountable to the organization that signed you. That's not being accountable to your teammates who go to war with you. And for those, you know what I'm saying, who feel differently, look back. I had my quarterback in the same situation not too long ago. And I felt like my quarterback was getting overpaid. I still feel like he overpaid. But the one thing that I have to commend him on is the fact that he was accountable. He knew that he was under contract, so he never held out. He never, not wanted to go to work. Accountability was his statement when he said, I'm going to control what I can control, and that's coming to work and doing my job. The contract situation, my agent is handling that. I'm going to let him handle that. I'm going to take accountability and control what I can control. And he came to work. And if people remember, he was under his last year of his contract when he came to work and got hurt. So from a business standpoint, when he put it on the line to go out there under the last year of his contract and risk getting hurt, when he got hurt, my owner rewarded him. and gave him a brand new contract, made him the highest paid player in the NFL, and he was hurt. So to the people who look at the owner, that shows accountability. He was accountable for telling this player, you go out there and play on that last year of the contract, and I'll take care of you. And when it didn't work out, he ended up getting hurt. My owner could have let him go. He could have let him walk, let him figure it out. But he was accountable for what he told him. If you go ahead and play, I'll take care of you. It got took care of. So when this guy decided he wanted us to sit out and hold out, that's not being accountable. That's not being accountable at all. Not at all. So accountability is key. From the block to the boardroom, accountability is what separates average people from excellent people. Trust me. Trust me when I say it. Accountability. That separates the men from the boys and the women from the girls. And that's in everything. Like, we mess up. Everybody messes up. Everybody makes mistakes. You know what I'm saying? As keen as I am on business, you know what I'm saying? I've been late to appointments. When I pride myself on being early, I've, you know what I'm saying, dropped the ball in some areas. But I've never hesitated to take accountability, to step up and say, hey, this is what I did wrong. My bad. I apologize. Because that's the first step toward gaming myself up, stepping my game up, and making sure that I check my accountability, because I don't want to be the guy that can't be counted on. I'm not that guy. I'm not that guy. But moving on, the fifth pillar. How much time I got? Okay, we running fast. The fifth pillar. Collaboration and support. Collaboration and support. It's not just about working side by side. It's about lifting each other up and putting each other in the best position to win. Great teams know when to step in and help. No one is left behind. We win together or we don't win at all. And that's just what it is. That's just what it is. There's no way around it. Collaboration and support. And that goes back to communication, because not everybody is, one thing I learned, not everybody is great in everything. Not everybody is great in everything. And as a leader, as a team leader, it's your position to realize people's strengths and weaknesses. And a good team puts people in position to enhance their strengths and minimize their liabilities or minimize their weaknesses. For instance, whatever it is, if you're not that good at it and somebody else is good at it, why would we give you that task? Why would we give you that task? That's the thing about it. If you're good at writing and somebody else is good at reading, it's the job of the teammates and you to let people know what's going on so we can put each other in the best situation to win. If you're not as strong as I am, it's my duty as a teammate to recognize that. It's your duty to ask for help. And it's the other teammate's duty to step up and help you win. That's how everybody wins. Just like the old saying, a chain is only as strong as its weakest link. So we're going to figure out who's the weakest, and we're going to surround them, and we're going to do everything we can to put them in a position to show their strengths and not their weaknesses. And I talk about this all the time when I was growing up, but one of the things I recognized when I was growing up, like I said, I'm going to get more into it, but my little clique of P-Ave people, my little clique of P-Ave homies and homegirls, I realized early that everybody ain't tough. Everybody is not a fighter. Everybody is not gangster. Everybody is not hard. But that doesn't make you weak. that doesn't make you weak. So a lot of times, me being around the people who didn't fight and wasn't about that aggression, when we were met with aggression, I was the one to step up because I was about that action. So it like, to me, I took up for people, and it ain't because, like I had to. It's because I understood that that person is not a fighter. But if you want to fight, fight me. I'll give you something. Like, I liked it. I loved it at the time. I was, getting pent up aggression and pent up anger out. You know what I'm saying? For stuff that was going on in my personal life. But I protected those people, and never once did I, you know what I'm saying, like feel like they were weak or feel like they were less than or none of that. It's just that they were on my team and it had to be done. Just like in football, when we played football, like I understood that everybody wasn't tough and everybody wasn't a tackler, so we had to work around that. We had to put people in position to where their strengths were maximized and their weaknesses were minimized. And collaboration and support. Collaboration and support, man. It don't work without that. It don't work without that. But that's what I want you to do. Shout out someone who always comes through when you need it. Shout out, like I have so many people. I couldn't name them all. Family, my sisters, you know what I'm saying, my brother, all of them. Like I have an excellent support system. I have an excellent support system. And that's why, like, I am confident I am the guy that I am, because I have people around me. I couldn't do it all by myself. I couldn't make it all happen by myself. It's impossible. But real community is built on cooperation, not competition. Not competition, cooperation. Support breeds strength. When you support people and you build them up, that's strong people on your end to help you succeed. But like I said, we running kind of early, but we're going to go ahead and knock it out. But we're going to recap the 5 pillars of a strong team. Number 1, trust. It don't work without trust. I have to be able to trust you. Number 2, clear communication. We have to be able to communicate, and we have to be clear about it. Because people nowadays consider yelling, screaming, and cursing communication. That's not clear communication. Clear communication is being able to tell you exactly what is needed or exactly what I bring to the table, and get clear information on what you bring to the table. It's not about, you know what I'm saying, knowing your weakness so I can exploit it. That's predatory. We don't do that. Real people, like when I say, what are you looking for in a man? That's not so I can try to be what you want in a man. That's so I can be honest and assess the situation and tell you, okay, I can't be that, or I can be that. But it starts with clear communication. Number 3, shared vision and goals. If we don't have the same goals, if we're not headed in the same direction, most likely we're not going to accomplish nothing. As simple as that. Number 4, accountability. If you're not going to take responsibility, we can't win. If everybody's not going to take responsibility and be accountable, there's no way we can win. And number 5, collaboration and support. If we can't come together, create a plan, and all work together and support each other in achieving the goals or realizing the plan, it won't work. It won't work. Now, this is what I want you to do. Ask yourself, does your team have these pillars? If not, it's time to build them up. It's time to build them up. That's what good leaders do. Or, believe me when I say this, good leaders are not born. They're bred. I learned to be a leader by first following good leaders. Following people who had the leadership qualities and the leadership characteristics that I knew I needed to be a leader. So I started off as a follower. But as a follower, I had to make sure that I chose the right leader so he can lead me in the right direction and teach me the stuff that I needed to learn. So if you're watching this as a leader, start leading by example. And if you part of a team, start being the change you want to see. Start being the change you want to see. Listen, drop a fire emoji if you got any value from today's show. Tag a teammate you respect, and let's keep the conversation going. I'm gonna go ahead and cut it short because this one ran kind of short. But until next time, you know I'm Mr. O'Neal, and I remind you, teamwork builds families, builds legacies, and build movements. Let's pave the way to a stronger future together, man. Let's work on our teamwork. Or let's start looking for those qualities in the people around us and seeing who will make good teammates. Because again, I stress, we cannot do this alone. I cannot do this without y'all. I can't. So until next time, I want everybody to take care. I hope you have a great rest of the week, and thank you for taking the time out to kick it with your man. I appreciate you. Y'all have a good day.